5. Aloha and welcome back, buddies. I'm Grayson, and it is time for more Dawntrail. So apparently 7.1 has been about trying to figure out exactly how Gululja came to be, which has specified a search for his mother. And oh boy, did we get some clues about that. Including what she looks like, her name via the echo, Tishalja, I believe. And thankfully, well, my theory of him finding the one Mamulja woman in all of the area who got swallowed by the dome was correct. It would appear that he's not, of all the lines he's crossed, SA, thankfully, is not one of them. And in fact, he did not give a shit. It was her that wanted him and not the other way around. And apparently she got her wish, because now we have Gululja. Although, what happened to her after that is still a mystery, because she's not around. So whether that's going to be the entire plot of post-Dawntrail pre-8.0, I'm not sure, but let's find out, shall we? While we discern the purpose of the research conducted here, the traces of it that remain might afford us greater insight into what came of it. Let us look around for information as well as a way to the upper level. Oh yeah, and the research notes in the dungeon we just did kind of shed some light on the whole Arcadian thing with using feral souls. Basically, they're like, yeah, no, people shouldn't be doing this shit. What the fuck? God, look at these. Definitely some sort of operating room. Oh, I wish I could read that. Offers so many clues. Hey, Gululja, what you thinking, little buddy? What happened to the people here? Did they all leave, or did we already meet them? Yeah, they might have been the animals we've been fighting. To think that people actually volunteered their souls for these experiments. That was far from guaranteed, and even in the best case, they would cease to be men. Was their devotion to Zeralja so absolute? Yeah, the idea of the, beast soldiers so tempting and so effective, why did he fall back on the, robots? It won't open, and I don't think it'll yield to our shoulders either. Have to do it the old-fashioned way and find the key. And by key, I think it's probably safe to assume Gululja. A lift can be seen behind the wrought iron gate. As sturdy as it appears, the gate will likely resist attempts to force it open. A security panel is nearby. Perhaps a verification key will open the way. Search for the verification key. What's up, Graha? Wonder what Becklug would make of this research into transferring souls. You know, that is a great question. I would love to go and ask him about it. Back, Ryle. Research has likely moved between the upper and lower levels. Perhaps we can find a key among their belongings. What you thinking, Wukamat? Makes me angry to think about what they did here. Ooh, test subject journal. Yay. They're recruiting volunteers for a new experiment. I know I'm not as bright as the others, but they wouldn't laugh at me if I was stronger than them. This might be my chance. Soul transferred a few days ago. I can write. Can write good, yes? I am good. Very good. Getting hard to control strength. Today bit off hand of feeder. Cannot help it, so strong. Hungry. Always hungry. Cannot control. Eat. I must eat. Am eater must eat. So they started by having enough consciousness and control to be able to write. But then I guess as they got hungrier, maybe the ether was unsustainable or something, they slowly lost control. Interesting. Supplies for the staff are neatly arranged within the cabinet. Among the various items is a manual outlining regulations tranquilizing gas to be used in emergencies. You dig deeper and find a verification key. Perhaps you can use to open the iron gate. Yay! Hopefully I didn't miss out on any other journals, because I'm actually supremely invested in what's going on here. Although I probably did. And whoop. Found the key? Great, I'll call the others. Kerchink. Seems the key can be used to operate the lift as well. Up we go. I think the above angle just goes to further show how doofy a Lalafeld's walk cycle can be. So this is the observatory. Didn't expect it to be similar, but this is a far cry from the temple that held Valigarmanda. All the machinery appears to still be in operation. Expect there are auxiliary systems in place to ensure that monitoring can continue even in emergencies. Warnings indicate various anomalies, related to the seal's failure most likely. For a blessing, we managed to fell the beast before it could cause harm. Right then, let's see if we can find some clues about Gululja's mother. I think I can use this terminal. Shale taught me how. There's so much data. I don't know what we should look at. Perhaps we can narrow down the search by inputting the name Tishalja. It's like, how do you spell that? I didn't realize Tishalja was that many. It brought up a lot of results. They all seem to say the same thing. Ooh. Tishalja, Administrator of Experimental Treatments, Research Logs. So she was like the head chirurgeon, I guess. This sounds good, doesn't it? Chances are the data is encrypted, and even if not, it'll take considerable time to go through it all. And let us take it with us to the back room and have Shale analyze it. Agreed. Alright, I'll transfer it to the storage device I brought. Beginning transfer. 12 hours later. There, it's finished. Thank you so much for bringing me all the way here, everyone. If you're happy, then so am I. Besides, I was able to learn more about my brother as well. It's a fruitful adventure for the both of us. He's like, yeah. I wonder if I can learn how to drive it too. And here we are. The authorities will doubtless wish to be informed about the facility and its contents. First things first, let us deliver the data to Shale. I do kind of dig the music here. Neon Stein. Reading maps is a skill. Hello. To the back room. Sadly, we probably need it, and we did. Welcome back. Galuja's already given me the storage device. Looks to be a wealth of data, all of which is encrypted, so we'll need time to process everything. In that case, Alice and I might take ourselves around the city and check on the people. Aye, the mood has us a bit worried. Don't know if there's anything we can do to help, but we'll see. Understood. I'll let you know as soon as I finish my work. Thank you. See you again soon. It's gonna make me wonder what exactly is left to do for this patch. Writings of the Hetzo. Alice isn't wrong. The mood out there is still grim. Some of the Tirali remember a time before they were dependent on the Soul System, but even they're unsettled and wondering aloud if they'll have the chance to reunite with old friends and family before they pass on. With good reason, too. The journey home won't be an easy one for those who've grown old. That's why it's mostly been younger folk who've been leaving for Tiral, ones with no elders to care for. Word of that problem has reached us in Tuliola. My brother is doing all he can to see the Shaktaral Railroad restored to operation so that people may come and go more freely. Unfortunately, the tracks only go as far as Vanguard, so some traveling by foot will still be necessary. Even so, the railroad would make things a sight easier. How long before it's back in service? I couldn't say. When I left for this visit, Kona seemed reluctant to make promises. I mean, we did kind of charge the one train that was nearby into the side of the building and exploded it, so they kind of had to make an entire new one. But while Shale's working on the data, we could go and see the state of it ourselves. To Shaloni Station, then. Make sure to keep Kona informed. Alright, to Shaloni, then. Shoshenowezi Springs. Hey guys, how's it going? So, how's the train doing? Valve resolve. And Kokoze Koze to boot. Oh, what? Valve resolve. And Kokoze Koze to boot. What can I do you for? I can read. We're hoping for some good news about the railroad. There's an increasing number of people looking to return to Tiral that can make the journey on foot. I see. As it happens, the Valve Reason is also on his way here to take stock of the situation. Scratch the on his way. Hi, Kona. Hey, Aaronville, with a new outfit. Did our little Bun Bun finally outgrow his old clothes? Stop that. As you well know, my previous attire was that of a cleaner, and I've chosen a different path. It was time for a change. I love that it just gave us the opportunity to be sassy to him. You hear about the railroad too? It was in part for my sake that the original Dawntrail was sacrificed. I felt it only right that I assist with its replacement. Speaking of which, I assume Lamati has explained the growing urgency of the need. What have you to report? New locomotive was on track for completion, but we're having difficulty pulling her into the station, in a manner of speaking. You see, when we used the Dawn Blazer to get into the dome, urgency outweighed all other considerations. Now we're back to our original problem. How to run the railroad without upsetting the inhabitants of Mawahatson. That is the Rroneek. Though the Hetsaro that follow them are none too pleased about their Hetso being spooked by the noise of the locomotive either. The solution I devised to quieten the railroad should address that complaint. But a silent train presents a different danger. The Rroneek will need to be deterred from wandering across the tracks. And I suppose we can't just blow the whistle at them, or they'll panic and be put off their grazing again. Oh, wrong person. Weren't there railroads plotted to avoid the Rroneek's preferred grazing areas, though? It's odd that they're getting so close in the first place. The Rroneek's grazing patterns have shifted since the tracks were laid. Not certain why, but I intend to ask the people of Mawahetson for their insight. As a major proponent of the railroad, I have a duty to assist in this matter. I, too, would hear what the Hetsaru had to say about it. They are the ones most affected, after all. I believe it would be best to begin by consulting their leader, Watto. Chat, gata novalia. Sorry, I had to make a Star Wars joke. The rest of you can accompany us to the Hetsaru encampment if you like. Who'd have thought this little random NPC from Endwalker would have grown into such an important character for the story? Bing, 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 bing. I could have just teleported there. I'm an idiot. Hello. Hello again, friends. For resolve. For a reason. I bid you welcome to our camp. But what brings you all the way to Mewatson? Wahetson. I thank you for seeing us. Our visit concerns the matter of the Dawntrail Railroad. You can still see the dome in the background. That's kind of amazing. You two have noted the Rroneek's unexpected change in behavior, then. My son, Shepeto, has been looking into this matter. Shepeto? Normally, we'd expect the Rroneek to keep to their favorite grounds nearby for a while yet. Despite a thorough search, we haven't found anything wrong with the quantity or quality of the grazing in Pyaryawan and Yatanane. Yet they refuse to keep to where they usually would, instead pushing westward toward your railroad. Certainly see no cause for this unseasonal migration. Nevertheless, should they continue to move west, we will follow. As any true Hetsaru would, I suppose. As you may have surmised, I am of Hetsaru descent. Parents traveled with the Rroneek as well, though I myself have no memory of the experience. I was left behind as a babe, you see, during such a migration. One of many sacrifices necessitated by a nomadic lifestyle, I'm forced to assume. Clearly, he's still pretty fucking sore about that. A chance encounter with the kind Pelu merchant was the only reason I... Why is he going into this right now? Did I fend for myself? Gave me still... Oh. This is just flashback. I thought he was like actually explaining this all to him. Never mind. And that's where the Dawn Servant found her and adopted me. I'd already been in the palace some time when Lamati came to join us. Like me, she had been cast aside by her parents. I knew the pain of solitude and wanted to spare her that suffering. As she's tiny child's new brother, I swore I would always be there for her. Truly. I've never heard of the Rroneek choosing a path so arduous as to force such a terrible decision, nor of any Hetsaru willingly leaving their own flesh and blood behind. Must have been some exceptional circumstance. I cannot say. The idea of following in their footsteps that I might make excuses for their actions never much appealed to me. Even if it might help you better understand the Rroneek's current behavior? As is so often the case, you are correct. Though my discomfort with the Hetsaro way may arise from fear of reopening old wounds rather than blind fervor for innovation, would nevertheless see me repeat past mistakes. To refuse to learn one of our country's treasured traditions would make me a poor dawn servant indeed. Please, teach me of the Rroneek and what they mean to you. Promise to listen with an open mind. We would be delighted. In the meantime, your companions are welcome to look around. Will you learn enough Hetsaro culture with me? I should like to approach this with fervent curiosity. With the fervent curiosity that you and my sister share, but it would be useful to know whether I am doing it correctly. I would be more than happy to. Then it's settled. We'll learn more of the Rroneek, and we'll have a look around the plains. And perhaps in the process, we'll find the answers we seek. I am actually very interested in learning more about this. I see corn. Cut alone, a few of them at that. Quickest way to learn about our way of life is to do as we do. We're not above... So that's how we're doing this. I'm not the most experienced, I'm ashamed to admit, but I shall put forth every effort. That's all we ask. Take these tools. Thank you. Now introduce yourself to anyone who looks busy and ask if you can help. I'd be happy to teach you what to do in exchange for another pair of hands to do it. Basically, we're helping with their chores. Again. Let us meet back here later to share what we've learned. Oh, so many fucking people. Alright. Start with this one off in the distance here. Ruffled Rroneek. Oh, hello. Fond Hetsaro. As you stroke the Rroneek's coat, you notice that many portions are shaggy and tangled. This one's fur is a bit overgrown, but a good brushing should thin it out. Would you like to give it a try? You need the right tool for the job, mind you. A comb of the type you're used to would just get lost in the tangle like it's not. Fur brush, a sturdy brush suitable for grooming even the fluffiest of Rroneek. Geppetto sent a Rroneek brush with you, did he? I like him. Now just run it through one little patch at a time, gently. God, I don't know how many I have to tend to, but I imagine a big herd of them would take all goddamn day. Dutifully brush the Rroneek until your arms grow weary from the prolonged battle with its coat. It appears much tidier now, though the same cannot be said for your clothes, which require a new coat of their own. Well done. With less excess fur, our friend here will be more comfortable in the afternoon heat and less susceptible to illness. Combed coat also makes it easier for us to identify injuries should the need arise. Hello. I'm afraid I've finished with my tasks for the time being, but since you're so eager to learn about our way of life, why don't I tell you a bit about our migration customs? If you're here, you likely already know that the Rroneek and our Hetso, our guides, that we travel with through the turning of the... are our Hetso, our guides, that we travel with through the turning of the seasons. We trust them to lead us to fertile lands with all we need to survive. But you may not know that sometimes the herd splits into two, bound for different paths. On those occasions, we Hetsaro must also part with half our number. How much you want to bet that's what happened to Kona? You may think it a strange and stressful custom, but over the years it has seen us visit new lands and broaden our horizons as a people. This too is the wisdom of the Hetso. Ooh, that may be what's going on right now, actually. Some of them have just decided to split off and are heading west towards the railroad tracks. Hello. Oh, this won't do. The wind will go right through it. Me without my needle and sinew. Box containing bone needles, sinew, scraps of hide, and other helpful mending accoutrement. Like, oh, you mean like this? Oh, these are precisely what I need. Should be able to patch up the covering now. Given how often we pack up and reassemble our tents, they're bound to get the occasional tear. Fortunately, the Rroneek hide they're made of is durable enough that we generally needn't worry. Small boar ox cow thing. Buffalo. Learning about the Het'Sara way of life, are you? I may have a thing or two to share. But rather than talking your ear off, let me test your powers of deduction. Find answers much easier to recall later if I arrive at them myself. Our Het'So provide us with something that we use in medicines, poultices, and soap to drive away pests and sustain our fires. What is it? Let's see. Bones? Hooves? Can I read that again? In medicines, poultices, and soap to drive away pests. Dung would only attract them. You sure as fuck wouldn't use it in medicines, poultices, and soap. Bones I could see used in poultices. Isn't soap generally made of, like, animal fat? I'm gonna go with the first one. Both horns and hooves have cores of bone, and we use all of these materials, albeit primarily in tentpoles, instruments, and the like. Not quite the answer I was looking for. Okay, so it's not bones. I'm gonna say meat. Alas, it is the poop. God damn it. Alas, not quite. Meat and organs both can be made into delicious fare, and our neighbors are oft glad to trade for them. They do have certain medicinal uses as well, but they aren't fit for all the purposes mentioned in my question. Why are you using dung for medicine and soap? Is it dung again? Sounds like there's a story there, but that is indeed the correct answer. Discovered myriad uses for Rroneek ships over time, each a boon to our way of life. Where there is a need, our Het'So always provide. We have so many questions that I don't think I want the answer to any of them. Alright, I've helped out. Smell of the grass in the wind, which is a good thing, I promise. Could nearly be mistaken for one of us, if a bit on the short side. Hey. I have to wonder how Val Kono's getting on. I assumed he would be reluctant to get his hands dirty, but it seems his wish to understand us was sincere. Yeah, it usually is. Ah, there he is now. With a Rroneek. Apologies for my tardiness. I was tasked with grazing the Rroneek and ended up rather far afield. Found myself wandering hither and thither at my companion's inclination. To force us back to the trail seemed inappropriate. But how was your own work? Have you anything to share? So our life revolves around the Rroneek, but in turn the people receive all they need. Yes, I feel the truth of this myself. While I was hesitant to leave my fate to the whims of the Het'So rather than tread man-made paths, I arrived where I was meant to be all the same. Mine is not the only way, though at times I lack the experience to know otherwise. The inability to conceive of how a decision might be right does not mean that it is wrong. Parents had a duty to the Rroneek, as they did to me. So I wonder if their leaving me behind was not so selfish an act as I once believed. I have no way to know, of course. Regardless, this has no bearing on our present concerns. We are here in service to the people of Toral, after all. Nevertheless, I thank you for helping me find deeper meaning in what we've done today. And I will endeavor to remain curious, especially where the Het'So are concerned. I'm glad to hear that, Falcona. Welcome among our herd anytime. Bing, 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 bing. Much as I'd love to keep going, I'm afraid I'm going to have to end things off here. Thank you all so much for joining me. If you like this video, leave a like and a comment. If you want to see more, hit subscribe and the bell, and I'll see you guys next time.